Go, boy.
That's a reported. Easy.
We're back in black, baby.
Dude, hell yeah, episode 51. Ah, fuck, I was supposed to let you guess which episode it
You
was.
fucking blew it.
I did
Reported.
blow it. Hell yeah. Well,
It's been a while.
long fucking break since episode 50. I think we were talking about it off cast. I think we have established a new schedule so that we should be consistent about this again. We've just both been working. I know you've been busy with like a house and shit, so our schedules are just getting to the point where we can manage, I think, a consistency. So we're just going to kind of recap this episode. It's just going to be a lot of freeballing, unless you have specific shit.
I've got a few things I want to talk about. The first of which is, obviously, as somebody who still tinkers around in Overwatch, Overwatch 2 has been formally delayed, which I'll go into details later, but just the point I want to get across is that the game didn't even have a release date, and you already delayed it. Like, what are you doing? What are you... You don't have to delay it. There's no release date. You just say, oh, we're working hard.
I got so confused when they were like, we delayed it. And I was like, because usually I keep up to date. Like, I follow a lot of stuff on Twitter. And I was like, when was it announced, like, a release date? Like, what has it been delayed to? And then it's just like, yeah, no, we haven't announced it. It's just delayed. And it's like, dude, what the fuck are y'all doing? Like, you didn't even have to say that.
Yeah, so we'll talk about that a little bit. Obviously, if you haven't heard, what's been really odd is Nintendo all of a sudden is pumping out movies. We've got the Mario movie coming out soon with what's his name?
Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt, and then we also have Seth Rogen.
As DK,
yeah,
right?
he contracted today not only to show up as DK inside of that movie, but he's going to have a DK standalone movie. And Nintendo made it clear that they have plans for a ton of movies for some reason.
I mean, they've been making moves. Like, I know they did, like, they've had a couple games come out, and they're having some ones coming out in the near future. They've been pushing out updates for current games. Like, they're still just fucking...
All I'm going to say, like, with Nintendo, and we can just jump into the cast now. There's no reason to even list out what we're going to talk about.
Yeah, who gives a fuck? No one listens.
Yeah, fuck everyone anyway. But essentially, if you're Nintendo, like, I understand going into movies, but I felt like the best way... Nice, cat kicks open the door. I felt like the best way for Nintendo...
I heard that.
To get into movies would have been to do a Metroid movie. Like, that could have been really badass, but I understand Mario is your flagship, but, like, a Mario movie to me doesn't really connect, but, like, a Metroid movie would.
A Metroid movie would be so fucking cool.
Yeah, so it's just kind of like, I understand it's cool that you want to jump into movies and stuff, but, you know, you've got some pretty good IPs. You could even done, like, a racing movie with Captain Falcon or something.
Dude, an F-Zero movie?
Yeah, like, that would have been sick.
Especially since, like, yeah, F-Zero has been, like, kept on the back burner for, like, 30 years.
Yeah.
Like, imagine reviving it with the movie. Do you know how hyped people would get for that?
Yeah, so again, I don't... It's kind of the movie that if it comes out on Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, something, I'll probably watch it. I'm not going to the theater to see a Mario movie.
Who would you, off topic, who would you want cast as... If they did an F-Zero movie, who would you think would be a good Captain Falcon?
That's tough off the top of my head.
True.
I mean, who did you have in mind?
I was just thinking, because I was like, I couldn't think of anything. I was like, maybe you could throw something out and give me an idea.
I'd have to think about it because we don't know too much about his personality.
That's true.
And, like, you can't pick Ryan Reynolds because he's already, like, 16 superheroes. You can't really pick him, and other than that, I'd really have to think about it. I would also pick Pratt, but
I was even kind of thinking I was straight up like Pratt could be a good one. I'm like, well, he's Mario.
Yeah, nice. So just interesting tidbits. Nintendo moving into movies for some reason.
God, a Samus movie though. A Metroid movie. Now you got me hyped for that. Like,
I know, that would be awesome. I think, and that would have been Nintendo, an easy way for Nintendo to kind of move into that video game movie world. And
like, I mean, I know Nintendo's not very big on like adult themes, but it's like with Metroid, you could kind of almost spin it in like PG-13, like a PG-13, almost kind of like horror, sci-fi horror, like movie theme if you did it the right way, which would be fucking awesome.
Right? No, I mean, I would be all in on that.
Would you go to the theater for that one? I might.
I might. I would. I might. That might be something to go see with friends. That would be fun.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, there's something just because it's like I know we've mentioned it before in the cast, and I thought it was really interesting. But unless you've been living under a rock, because we're not even really touch on it, because I'm sure everyone and their mother knows about Activision just completely fucking up everything.
They're
Like
really struggling, man. They're really struggling.
The lawsuits. I mean, like their chief legal executive. I don't know what the specific role was called. Left. Like they've had a lot of people leave the company. But did you see? I guess his name's Bobby Kotick.
I was gonna say Bobby Boucher.
Bobby Boucher. No, but did you see like his pay cut announcement thing or whatever that he did?
So I heard a little bit about this where he took like a big pay cut, but at the end of the day, people are like, I mean, you allowed like predatory behaviors to happen under your watch. So nice.
Yeah, and like he said, so this is what I don't get. Maybe you might know because you know a little bit more about like how businesses and especially like kind of like the money side of stuff works. But essentially, from what I've read, and I'm looking up articles right now, so I don't talk out my ass.
What are you looking up?
Just
no, that was pitiful. That was pitiful. It's
yeah. But essentially, he's like, so Bobby Kotick is announcing like like anti-harassment policies, like all this protections and stuff, trying to fucking do better. And on top of that, he asked the board to so I'm reading this article from the Straits Times by doesn't even have an author. That's fucking cool.
That's okay.
Anyway,
yeah, if it doesn't, fuck it.
But anyway, it says in this article, nice, lost it. The CEO apologized and said he had asked the board to slash his pay to the California legal minimum of US $62,500 until the panel, quote, has determined that we have achieved the transformational gender-related goals, end quote. So my thing though is, as a CEO, wouldn't he be on the board?
So usually the CEO reports, like that's when people say the CEO doesn't have a boss of a company. That's not true. It's generally the CEO reports to the board of directors.
Okay, so he's not on the board of directors.
I mean, he probably is on it, but that doesn't mean that I mean, the board is usually made up of an odd number of people that can vote and essentially force out executives, for example.
Okay, because my thing is like because I didn't know how it worked, is how he was saying like, oh, like I'm taking this pay cut until the board says I'm doing good, when it's like, well, if he's on the board, what's to stop him from being like, hey, I think I'm doing good, I want my payback now. Like that's what I was like, all right, like you're slashing a pay cut but saying, oh, the board will decide it, but you're on the board, so it's like,
yeah,
but okay, if you say they have the power to kind of control that, then that's, I mean, they're still fucking up, but it's like, I guess, cool.
Especially for a company that size, the board of directors is probably between 9 and 12. So, and he might be one of them. There's probably another executive or a few other executives that are on the board, and then the rest of it is usually made up of external people. Like,
is it like shareholders and stuff like that?
Or just like industry specialists, for example. Like you could have like a leader who's on your board of directors just because they're a specialist in your industry and they might have insights into helping guide the company.
Okay.
But the board of directors absolutely does control like the CEOs and the CFOs. Like if they don't like what a CFO or a CEO is doing, they will have them like fired.
Okay. Damn. But yeah, I mean, dude, the fucking it's crazy though, the fact that he is making, $62,500, considering like the year before that he was pulling in like over $100 million.
I noticed that he conveniently also left out all of his stock options, and who knows, he could be making multiple millions of dollars a year on the side just with stocks.
Oh, like
who knows?
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
And they're also not talking about like bonus incentives. By that I mean his base salary, might be $62,000, but he didn't say anything about, oh, if I still hit my bonus targets, do I get my other $500,000? Do I get my other $1 million? So who knows what that really means? That sounds like an optics move because he knows he's been fucking up.
Yeah, because I was like even thinking like, going from like hundreds of $1,000,000 to 62,000. I'm like, that's a lifestyle change that could like financially ruin someone. So I'm like, there's no way that he did that without some sort of like contingency set up. And like you said, you're saying like, oh, he's got like fucking, maybe stock options or whatever. So that makes sense, I guess. But yeah, dude, Activision fucking up.
But I mean, is that like the right move to do as somebody in that position? Yeah, it probably is.
Yeah, I mean, like I'll applaud it because it's like, at least you're doing more than whenever companies like fuck up and they're just like, oh, we're sorry anyways.
Yeah, my
like,
bad. Anyways,
he's like,
I'll take my millions.
Yeah. Yeah, he's like, you know what, I'll take a pay cut. He's like implementing stuff to make sure this doesn't happen again. I think it was like a $250 million package was approved to like set up, like anti-harassment stuff, like all these like workshops and stuff. And I'm like, you know what? That's cool. Like, you're still a piece of shit, but it looks like you're at least trying,
And I saw that they actually have they're putting together like certain quotas that they have to have in the workforce, which, not to get political, but I'm not too much of a fan of setting a hard set. You have to have X number of this, X number of that, X number of this. You know what I mean? It's just, I understand you're trying to revamp it, and maybe that's something you need to do in the interim just to get things to where people aren't being fucking harassed in the workplace. I can support that. It's just, they need to be careful long term.
Yeah, I get that makes sense. Yeah, maybe it's just like hey, like this is like just to light a fire under us and go from there.
Right, hold themselves because now because they said that they're going to do this, they have to do it. So it's a good thing that they're holding themselves accountable to it. But it's just like, again, the culture that was there must have just been so bad. And not to link it into Overwatch, but even to this day, when I see somebody get a kill and it says like Cassidy got a kill, I'm like, who the fuck is Cassidy? Like,
I saw like a tweet where like, and so that's McCree's new name, right? Cassidy.
Yeah, Cassidy's the new name.
So like I saw like a tweet someone made as a joke, which I thought was kind of funny because it was like say hello to like Cassidy, like Overwatch's new hero, and watch how everyone in the game is still gonna call him McCree. It's like,
I mean, he's McCree, and again, I understand that the guy was a piece of shit. But that doesn't have, in my mind personally, I know if you've been impacted by it or whatever, it's a different thing for you. But to me, there's no correlation between the guy and the video game character in my mind.
Yeah. That's kind of what I was like pointing at with that tweet, is that it's pretty much just like, hey, like it sucks, but it's like it's not going to affect the character in game. Like, I'm sure when you and your friends still play, y'all still say like, oh, McCree ult.
Absolutely, or we need help with McCree.
Yeah.
Not, we need help with fucking Cassidy.
Nice.
So, but, other than that, moving on away from that topic, what's surprised me, and I'm also not surprised at the same time, is how the chip shortage has not only continued, it's probably gotten worse.
Oh, yeah. I mean, at this point, too, now it's not even a chip shortage. There's like a nationwide or a global shortage on like everything nowadays.
Well, yeah, and not to like jump out of video games, but I had a coworker today. She asked me, hey, I'm trying to get a PS5 for my boyfriend for Christmas. Where can I get that?
Good luck.
Yeah, and I said, good luck, blah, blah, blah. And then anyways, I was scrolling around just curious because, again, I got lucky in getting a 3080. But just looking around at what's the news on the chip shortage. And
I think I know where you're going with this.
Well, it's just that like I'm not even reading an article. I just Googled chip shortage. And the things that are coming out on the screen, yeah, they're talking about, I see Nintendo's referenced a lot, PlayStation, Xbox. But then more importantly, what they're saying is your next car may come without a touchscreen and other tech as the chip shortage wreaks havoc on automakers. That's one article. The next one, Honda lowers profit outlook for a second time amid chip shortage. Third article, some BMWs won't have touchscreens thanks to chip shortage. So it's like this is just so out of control at this point.
Yeah, no. So that was actually a thing too, because like I was so it's like I have a Subaru, and every now and again I get an email where it's like you're eligible for like Subaru's like trade up program, where it's like you can trade in and get a new Subaru. They just want your fucking for, like,
chips.
Well, I didn't think about that, but I was like talking to my parents about it because it's like I'm still like I'm very bad when it comes to like car prices and like the ins and outs of that, and like I was talking to my parents. I'm like, hey, like, do y'all get these emails? And like my parents were just essentially like, how the fuck are they going to sell you a car when no cars, they don't have like chips to like make new cars anymore? And sure enough, when I went up to Subaru to take my car in for maintenance, like the lot was empty.
Yeah, it's brutal stuff, man. It's brutal.
There was one row of cars and I was like, this is kind of scary looking. Like I've never just seen empty parking lots at a car dealership. I was like, wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And I saw it too. I don't know if you keep up.
Oh,
like,
did you see?
Yes, I don't know like if you keep up to date with like Houston stuff since you're in New Mexico, but it's like you know with the fucking all the container ships just chilling in California.
Dude,
in the
that
backlog
freaks
there.
me out.
Yeah, that like I try to like not to like look at stuff like that because whenever I start seeing articles and stuff like that, I start getting like worried. I'm like, dude, this is bad.
Dude, it's brutal.
But it's like I saw a thing where like now the port of Houston is like getting a lot of these shipping, like these cargo ships in, and I saw, and it was like an article where like one of the main guys of like the Houston ship channels, like I've never seen anything like this before.
Well, because it's
He's
not
like, I've been
natural.
working here for 30. He's like, I've been working here for like 35 years, and I've never seen this many like cargo ships here. I'm like, holy fuck, man!
Well, you know what might be sitting on those cargo ships?
A lot cars, 3080s.
The Elder Scrolls Skyrim Anniversary Edition.
Nice.
You like that?
Nice.
You like that? Oh my God! Guess how much it's gonna cost. Remember, this game's been out for 10 years.
How
Just
much?
guess.
60, like a normal
No,
game.
a full 50 though.
Nice. What a joke.
Yeah, what a joke. And it's like they added a few skins, it looks like, from Morrowind, but didn't bother to like port anything over. It's just like, guys, just make the next damn game.
Dude, but they don't have enough chips to make the next game.
Fuck their chips.
Dude, yeah, no, it's fucking bad. Like, yeah, it's like I'm hoping that this whole chip shortage, fucking cargo storage thing gets settled soon. But it's like I don't know, man. Not to get off the tangent of gaming, but it's like
I mean, it does impact gaming because that's where like all the consoles are sitting. It's gonna fuck up Christmas for people trying to get games and consoles.
It impacts
and
everything,
accessories. Yeah. I mean, this is totally unrelated to gaming. I ordered just some soundproofing materials to dampen the sound in the room I'm in, and this is something super basic, just like a couple of sound pads, and they just never showed up. And I talked to Amazon, and Amazon was just like, "Oh, we're considering it lost." Just boom,
nice.
And it's just like shipping, everything is just out of control right now.
Yeah, especially with like a worker shortage and companies just don't want to hire new workers or pay for it. It's like, dude, nice. Capitalism's pretty sick right now.
You could go work for Activision.
Nice. Jesus Christ, yeah.
Nice.
Well, like I said, I'm hoping, dude. Fucking too with the food shortage too. That's pretty sick.
Brutal.
Yeah, I don't know what grocery stores are like where you're at, but it's like
No impact up here.
okay,
Like I'll say
I'll
up
tell
here
you
when I really mean to the fucking left of you.
direct. Yeah, I was about to say like I was at the grocery store today getting beer and like yeah, like in the meat section it was like completely empty and I'm like Jesus Christ. But
No comments. I'm staying away from that one. No comments.
Yeah, I'm just like I said, we'll get back to like gaming. Well, actually, you know what? Like unrelated note, it's not gaming, but it's still like nerd culture, or whatever. But it's like you'll appreciate talking about this. But I'm pretty sure you brought it up way early on in our podcast. But you brought up this book series called The Stormlight Archives.
Oh, fuck yeah, boys.
And I finally got around to like start listening to them and stuff. And it's
Too
like
easy.
Yes, that. And it's long story short, it's like if you're a fan of like fantasy novels and books and stuff like that, like dude, these books are awesome.
I told you.
Like it's like the Stormlight Archives is like one series. I think like the universe is called like the Cosmere. So there's like Mistborn is like another series. Stormlight Archives, I think there's like another series. I'm not that far into it. I'm just focusing on Stormlight because it's like a self-contained story. It's badass.
It's badass.
So it's like if you're looking for like, you know, a cool book to read or listen to, I mean, I'd probably say listen to it because these books are massive. I know the audiobooks are like 50 hours each.
That's badass.
But yeah, no, they're awesome, and it just makes me want a game or a movie or something, and not that shitty VR game on Steam.
Oh God, please don't ever talk about it again.
It looks so bad. That's probably why like a game's never gonna be fucking made is because like that happened.
It's pretty bad.
yeah, it's rough. Um,
Well, I'm not making, this is my disclaimer, I'm not making light of the situation, but linking
all
it to
right.
games, if you heard about on the set of the film of Rust, when Alex
Yes.
Baldwin, in theory, accidentally shot somebody with a live round in a prop gun.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm scrolling through IGN.com right now, so gaming website, and when I first heard what happened, there's a level in Hitman where you do something very, very similar. And sure
Oh,
enough, in
really?
IGN.com, they say Rust Armor's lawyers say the fatal live round could have been left as sabotage.
Really?
So, not that that is meaning anything. It just, I thought that was odd.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't know enough to like how working on sets and stuff like that works, but it's like I would assume that like if you get supplies and like gear for like guns on sets, like I would imagine that everything would be a blank round or whatever. So the fact that there was a live round in there, I'm like putting my tinfoil hat on. I'm like that almost seems purposeful because I feel like there would be a lot put in place to stop something like that from happening. You know
Well, again, not to make light, but you know what needs to be stopped from happening? These
what?
goddamn Xbox sneakers coming out tomorrow.
There's Xbox
They
sneakers. I knew there was an Xbox
No,
fridge.
Xbox sneakers, and they look fucking awful. Fuck off.
I'm looking them up real quick. Hold on. You'll hear my live reaction. Let's see.
All right.
The Xbox and Adidas
Yep.
ones. All right, let's see. I'm clicking them. Um, yeah, they look kind of weird.
Oh, you want
Like
them?
they're not as bad looking as I thought they were going to be. Like I was thinking like they would look like hype beast like Yeezy style shoes, but it's like
Easy style.
yeah. Yeah, I would not wear these.
I mean,
Like
I
I
would
guess it's
fucking
cool.
hope not.
Wait,
Just trying
hold
to
on.
get
What's the
your
price
meat
of them though?
rocked.
Hell yeah. What's the price of them though? I guarantee these shoes are probably like 150 $200. Guarantee it. Let's see. I'm trying to see if there's a price on it right around here. Oh, you have to be in a queue to get them. All
Nice.
right.
The demand is there,
Although
boy.
speaking of queue, well, did you see? Speaking of demand, did you see when Xbox released the fridge like as kind of like a meme of like what the Series X looked like? The fridge is sold out like immediately.
Well, speaking of Xbox, give us your update on where Halo Infinite sits at.
So okay, when you were talking about IGN, it reminded me. So, hey, like 343 has been doing a lot with IGN, like to kind of promote the game. Like they had like a gameplay video, and then today they talked about the battle pass. But it was pretty funny. Like they had IGN staff playing like a multiplayer game on the new map, and like, dude, I swear, like no one at IGN's ever played like a shooter before. Just watching the video of them playing Halo, like, if you ever feel bad at a game, just go watch IGN play Halo Infinite and you'll feel better. Because, like, it was, like, everyone was just like, bro, what the fuck are you guys even doing
Right.
over there? It was, but, like, so I've played both flights. Um, the first flight felt kind of janky. The second flight with Big Team actually felt kind of cool. I feel like Big Team's going to be good on that game because it's, like, with all the shit they're adding, it's like big maps are going to be the way to go on that game. And then they showed, I don't know if you saw the campaign trailer, but that was the thing because they hadn't said anything about campaign for so long, and they finally showed the campaign trailer, and it's looking like it's going to be a pretty solid story. They're bringing in like lots of villains, like they have like the brute, like the main brute like bad guy. There's like an elite assassin. There's like a forerunner boss. But the thing that got me with the campaign is that it's open world and it almost kind of has like like on Far Cry how there's like settlements and you can like go to settlements and like blow them up or clear them or whatever.
Yes.
It looks like Halo's kind of doing something like that too because in the trailer it was showing like he like pulled up a map and it was like a settlement and like when he walked up to it it was like new outpost found and then it was like objective like clear the outpost or whatever, which I was like that's kind of cool. But after watching all the trailer, I just got mad that we're not getting co-op at launch. And I'm like, how are you going to show us like an open world with all this cool shit and then be like, yeah, by the way, y'all can't co-op this?
What?
Like, come on, man.
Yeah, that's so stupid.
Like I said, I wasn't even like, I was kind of like not even super because they hadn't said anything about the story. So I'm like, dude, is the story just going to suck? But then it's like showing the gameplay, it looked good. And then I just remembered that it's like I can't co-op it with my friends. And it's like, okay, well, I don't know how long it's going to take, but I feel like at that point, if it takes too long, like even when co-op does come out, it's like, are people even going to want to co-op the campaign?
Yeah, they need to release it with the vanilla coming out. That's so stupid that they're not.
Yeah, that's honestly with everything with Infinite, that's my biggest fuck up on them is no co-op at launch.
So stupid, man.
Like
That's so stupid.
Halo co-op is like the move. Like I mean, how we've been playing Halo co-op for like 10 years,
That's so stupid.
and it's um also just because I was thinking too, I was thinking about when you were talking about movies. Did you see Sony's trailer for the Uncharted movie?
No, but I've heard good things about it.
They're having Tom Holland as Nathan Drake.
You like that? He seems a little young,
And
but
so I think the timeline, I think it's like a little before. I think it's like takes place a little earlier. So maybe that's why, but I was just like I think it'll be good. I like Tom Holland and like they showed like in the trailer like it looks very Uncharted. It has like there's some recognizable scenes from the game. I think it's going to be good. But I don't know. Like I said, the biggest thing was like Tom Holland. I'm like, man, he's kind of young for this role. Like,
I agree.
I was like, dude, should have gotten like I don't know what he's doing, but it's like, man, if you would have gotten like Nathan Fillion, that would have been the move.
Yeah, I agree with that for sure. Nathan definitely fits that role a little bit better.
Or honestly, if anyone get the voice actors to do it. I mean, because they like mocap the game and do all the stuff anyway. It's like, dude, just fucking get the actors to do it.
It can't be that fucking god awful.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much they're doing a movie as it is. So it's like, dude, just whatever. Put them in front of a camera and go. But yeah, I think we've kind of hit the stride where game movies are getting better.
Good.
Finally.
Good. Well, since we're bumping do you have one more thought?
Oh, I was just saying, like, now we're not going to have, like, old, like, Mortal Kombats and the old Mario movies and stuff like that. God. What about Doom?
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Well, since we're already getting close to time, I figured we could start wrapping up our thoughts. But like Kevin said, I think that we have a better schedule going forward. And there's a lot of stuff I want to talk about. Next cast, I want to talk about the game Forewarned. I want to talk about Aliens Fireteam. We rebooted up Predator Hunting Grounds.
Yes, that's definitely one we're going to have to talk about.
Yeah, so, we'll get more detailed stuff next time, just as we're getting back into it right now.
And Hunt. Got to always talk
we got
about
to talk about some Hunt. I bought Flight Simulator, but haven't installed it yet. Phasmophobia's had a ton of updates since we last talked about it. It's crazy now.
Dude, you got to play Flight Sim and talk about that, but at least once before next cast, because you've got the flight stick and everything. So I'd be very curious to hear. Dude, make sure you're a 3080s fan.
It is actually. I'll confirm to our audience. Hang on, let me pull up the monitoring tray. It is spinning. Well,
but does it think it's spinning?
Well, we're going to continue to drink beers now and probably either play some Hunt to continue pre-gaming or jump right into some Talisman.
Yep. I said this was just kind of a touch-up episode, and I think, it's Friday night we're recording this. I'll probably have it out Saturday afternoon.
Fucking idiot.
And as far as I know, I think that's going to be our schedule.
Oh, schedule.
Fuck yeah.
Literally only recording this podcast so that we can listen to it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just you, me, and then, like, Brandon occasionally tunes in and listens
to
him.
What a dingus.
But yeah, and fucking... Yeah, we're just back on our grind with our feet touching the ground.
Easy. Well, are you smiling, boy?
No, fucking, I'm smiling. I got some beers. I'm smiling. I'm ready to fucking Talisman.
Are you smiling?
Hell yeah. Are you?
No. You goddamn right. I'm smiling now, boy.
Hell yeah. Well, I said, episode 51, KillCam podcast. Worst podcast ever that only 2 people listen to. Fuck all of you.
The Meat Rocked podcast.
Okay. Yeah, dude, we got to rebrand this to the Meat Rocked podcast.
Get your fucking meat rocked.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Episode 51. Good shit. We'll be back next week. Fuck you.
You have to sign off. What's your name?
I'm Case Stew. Lol K-Stu, little snap me.
Oh, and it's your boy, Big Body Sandwich.
Oh!